it seems like there's a lot of real estate investors that are discouraged to buy in California because of all the regulation and taxes per se. But
Yeah.
would you recommend that investors buy in California, or would you say that they should just stick to wherever they live?
Um, Gosh, that's a good question. So first off, in case anybody doesn't know, I live in California and I invest in California. So let's just realize that any of my answers comes with that very biased opinion. So first off, I think you have to look at the entire picture of being an investor or a landlord. Where California typically loses is it's very tenant friendly. Evictions take 60 days, 90 days. Rent control. It's very tenant friendly. But on the flip side, at least as of today's recording, California has a lot going for it, right? It's got Prop 13 that keeps real estate taxes basically known. I use that as an example because I did evaluate Texas back in 07, 06, 07, somewhere in there. And I'm glad I didn't go. Well, how can you say that, right? Because Texas, you can get somebody out in 10 days or less.
Yeah.
Well, the deal in Texas is you don't understand your total costs every year because property taxes can be raised every year. So I happen to know people, because I've been doing this a long time, that chose to invest in Texas instead of California, and they cash flowed like crazy. But unfortunately, Texas has seen a lot of inflow of population. That population increase has raised the value of real estate. That value raised in real estate means your taxes go up, which means your cash flow goes down. I have heard several people, now it's a handful, right? So less than 10, but a couple of them are telling me they're losing their properties because property taxes turned a positive cash flow property into a negative cash flow property. So I don't like that. And that was the thing that scared me off Texas. So I traded tenant-friendly state, which, oh, by the way, is something I as a landlord can control. What does a tenant-friendly state mean? That means I better do a freaking very good job of screening my tenants, right? I have to create a tight box of who I say yes to. And yes, some people still slip through and life situations change. But if you do your job as a landlord and you put in qualified tenants, my experience is awesome. 98% of my tenants are great. If you're a lazy landlord in California, you're toast. If you say yes to the first application, you are toast because you're going to get professional tenants and they're going to eat your lunch. But if you take the time, get qualified right tenants, it becomes an asset because I can manage my cash flow, which is what I live on. I live on cash flow. So I will sacrifice the tenant-friendly state for the unpredictability somewhere else. And again, California is tenant-friendly. People talk about it being a negative. But own your stuff, people. Do a better job of qualifying your tenants, and you don't really have a problem, right? I've had thousands of tenants. I have 2 horror stories. Do a better job. Do your job. So that's what I tell them.